Welcome to another episode of Papa's Playhouse podcast. And today we have a real treat, a real gem of a night. We have a special guest here, the original Papa, the Playhouse himself, as an official guest.
How's it going, boys?
Wow.
Thanks for having me.
I know you could probably not hear us with how much you're applauding right now, but just try to listen. Yeah, wow, this is a special moment here. What
Special for me as well.
is it? Are you inspired by the podcast?
Sure. All the episodes I've listened to are very inspiring.
Yeah. No doubt, a lot of them. Um, Today we have a very special cocktail we'll be tasting. It's actually made by ChatGPT. I asked it what kind of cocktail to make for fall, and this is what it made up. So it calls it a official name here from ChatGPT itself is a whiskey harvest spice. And what it has in it is mulled cider that I mulled with clove and cinnamon and a little bit of ginger powder and nutmeg. Yeah, that's all mulled together. There's apple cider, obviously a nice bourbon, Angostura bitters, maple syrup. Oh yeah, orange slice on top. That's it. But very interesting. It's equal parts whiskey to the cider. So,
Mm,
uh, uh,
mm. And our other ChatGPT experience was finding out which animal had the biggest penis to body ratio.
yeah,
And the blue-billed duck, Argentine blue-billed duck won.
yeah,
So that's a fun fact for you.
yeah. Fascinating image shirts if you want to enjoy.
Hmm.
Mm-mm.
Them, they're getting it, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Right. We can have a sip of it if you want. He's already been sipping on it, but
Mm. Oh, yeah. That's real easy.
mm, yeah, wow.
And it just tastes like fall
It does.
in a glass.
You like it?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah.
You think it is?
It's really good.
Yeah, does taste really good.
Yeah, I think that would actually work at a restaurant.
That's the thing is we've said that about like almost every one of Caleb's drinks.
No, really.
So Caleb is actually like super talented.
This one would be great for because it's actually not that hard. Actually, it makes a normal old fashioned easier.
Well, the mall or whatever was hard. Well,
I
took some
mean,
effort.
yeah, but if you just made a big batch, you can also buy it if you wanted to. You could buy pre-mulled cider,
Hmm.
but I think that could work great. And for one of our local restaurants, a 37 seater, like that's the kind of cocktail that would work great there.
Yeah.
Like not super classy, but like this should be just a good easy drink to do. But yeah, I like it personally. I was surprised. I thought the equal parts, the apple cider and the whiskey was gonna taste a little odd. That maybe like too sweet, or the whiskey was gonna be drowned out or something. But they actually ended up tasting really good. About the same.
It's delicious,
Yeah.
Caleb. Another hitter.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
good
beautiful.
mix. I wonder if the Elijah Craig is just like perfectly balanced for this, or
Yeah,
if
see that okay.
another whiskey
I
would do
would
better or worse or what.
yeah, it's a barrel proof whiskey is what we poured in this.
It's a good
So
whiskey, yeah.
if you didn't do a barrel proof, I actually do think I would have been right and it would have been
Drown
not
it
like
out.
yeah,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have tasted much whiskey. But with the barrel proof, it's tastes like equal. But yeah, if you weren't gonna do barrel proof, I'd do a little bit less cider. But all right, Dad, you start off then.
Rate it.
Rate it.
Out of what? What are we doing?
We're doing the one bite pizza kind of rating.
Scale of 1 to 10,
1 to
One
10,
to
but
10?
there's no such thing as a 10.
which I think is not.
Okay. So man, if
It's
it
ice skating rules.
so if Lagavulin 16 neat is like a 9.8.
No. It's
No?
cocktails.
Oh,
Cocktails. Yeah.
just cocktail.
But we've
Yeah, all
also ranked
cocktails.
beers.
Oh yeah, every can have its own category. But when it's a cocktail,
Oh,
it's a
okay.
cocktail.
Okay.
It's a beer, and if it's a liquor straight, it's also its own rating score. This is kind of unfair to rate like where a beer lands on with a nice whiskey.
So
True.
It feels
so the
different.
best cocktail I've ever had is a 9.8, and you go from there, right?
Well, no, I mean it could go higher. It's just you gotta be. It's the same thing you've seen the pizza eating things.
This,
Dave.
I would say this is a 9.2.
Wow,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
very
it's it's
surprised.
really really high up there because this is the kind of drink that you would have at a restaurant, and it would be their 8 special cocktails, and this is one of them, and it would be on that list.
Hmm. It's really like a fall old fashioned, is what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
yeah.
old fashioned's my favorite drink, so I'm going right up there. I'll say 9-0.
9-0. Yeah, actually, I'm doing the exact same thing. It's the exact 9
Yep,
because it's really good.
hitter.
Yeah, but
So I think this time we're gonna try to find a nice middle ground of being focused on a topic and our normal stuff. Is that kind of what we're going for?
yeah.
Okay. And so tell us what you think. But so that it means our drink normal stuff and our draft normal stuff. Talking a little bit about just randomness, and then we'll get into a big topic more so.
Mm-hmm. Sadly, our
And
brother Nicholas was sick.
oh yeah, we forgot to
Really
mention
got sick.
Nick is sick. Yeah.
Nick is sick, so we're not going
So
from his
R.I.P. Nick.
Yep.
Get better, brother. Stay well rested, and hopefully Beatrice is taking care of your sweet soft lips.
Mm-mm.
So
Yes. Oh man,
mm,
really hoping for that.
hope that
Right?
COVID monster doesn't smack you.
I feel sad that I'm not joined by Nick.
Hey,
What is
Came on
that?
the podcast
I
today.
mean
I
it's
feel
in your
bad.
basement every Tuesday, so
Yeah, man. Oh,
You know what that means? That means you just have to join in more often. Let's join in again with Nick's on here.
anytime you want, because I
Yep.
think we owe you about 7 cents in royalties. So
Yeah.
oh man.
yeah,
Write me a couple checks.
Yeah.
You guys can space it out in the payment program.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I can write a check that big, but
We
we'll
don't have
try.
that much in the account.
Yeah. Oh,
But one of Papa's passions could be a new segment. That's a good name, Papa's
Papa
passions.
Passions.
But one of Papa's
Passionate
passions,
Papa's passion.
yeah. But one of his passions is smoking meats. And me and Caleb have dabbled a bit. I couldn't say that we're as experienced as Matt, of course, but
Slight dabbling.
yeah, we dabble.
Yeah.
But that's what we're drafting is favorite meats to smoke.
Mm.
Our favorite meats.
So just favorite cuts of me.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, what do you like to cook?
Well,
So,
this one it's gonna
Who gets to
be.
go first?
well, that's what
He
I'm
has a
about to
little.
tell you.
He has a little auto rotate. Little.
Part of me wants to think that the guest should get to go first every time, but I feel like the first pick isn't always the most sought after. So,
That's true, and then you kind of maybe then get a better chance of getting something you like.
yeah.
Racing two.
So, Caleb first, me second, Matt three.
Wow.
Sorry.
Wow, savage.
How are we doing? 4?
I think we should just do three.
3 meats?
There's not a ton of possibilities, you know? I mean, it's just smoked meat, so
Okay.
it's not. I mean, we could do four, but
I guess
I'll probably
we'll-
run out of
Yeah,
options.
let's see what we feel.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Start at 3. Sound first?
Yes.
I mean, I know I'm taking probably about everyone's, but brisket.
No.
Yeah.
Brisket is just. Oh my goodness, yeah. If I could choose anything that's been off a smoker, man, brisket. Just
Hmm.
unbelievable. Best of both worlds, you get that lean, you get that fatty cap. Awesome.
Do you keep the fat cap or do you trim it?
The actual, like, when the actual like, fat that ends up going to render,
Hmm.
yeah, you cut that off. But
Leave a
there,
good
there's a
amount.
fattier side and there's a lean side. And so the
Yeah.
lean side you slice up, another one like you dice, basically.
What do you do, Matt?
Yeah, the point and the flat, you slice them differently, but you cook the whole thing together, but you just leave a layer of the fat. You can push on the fat that it kind of feels like marshmallow, but then there's another, like a little vein of fat that runs through the middle of it that's hard
Hmm.
and it won't actually render out through that low temperature smoke. So you have to cut that out. Other than that, then you just season it and throw it on there. But yeah, I would have to agree that that is the number one thing. That's the best
That would have been
thing I've
mine.
ever had off of a smoker,
Hmm.
and my favorite. Yeah.
That would have been
What kind
mine.
of seasonings do you put on your brisket? Do you go Texas style, or do you like doing a little something special, extra?
No, I personally, yeah, I only want salt, pepper, and garlic. So Texas.
I found a rub it's called like black rub or something. It just got charcoal in it, but it's basically just salt, pepper, garlic, onion, all the basic stuff put together in one. And I've been really liking that. I've used it for a few things now.
Yeah.
Never seen
Brisket's
it.
my next big thing to tackle. I've worked my way up, so
That's the kind of one. Yeah,
that's my finale.
you gotta have the boys over for that one.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I cooked a Boston butt the other day, which speaking of which, Boston butt is my pick here.
Nice.
But
Good go to.
yeah, but I cooked it the other day because it was getting to where it needed to be cooked,
Mhm.
and I didn't have anybody over, and I ended up like throwing away like a pretty decent bag full of it.
Oh man.
Really sucked.
Yeah,
But
actually, it'd be really cool to do like I don't know what kind of night, maybe like a Friday night. Everyone comes over and everyone helps with the seasoning and everything, get it on it, and it's an
hmm
all night thing of like taking care of it during the night. That'd be a lot of
That'd be
fun.
good for like a an intimate group.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
four dudes,
Very intimate.
very
Four
intimate.
guys.
Yeah, four dudes,
Four dudes,
being
very
intimate.
intimate. Very special moment there. Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's my second pick is Boston butt.
What you put in your boss about the same thing you just said?
Yeah, but I just like it simple, and I've tried not with Boston butt, but with other stuff. I've tried a few different like store-bought seasonings and stuff, and they're good, but just keep it simple. So I like that black rub because it's all the simple stuff, and instead of having to cover it with salt, pepper, garlic, you just hit it all in one shot. So
How do you tackle a Boston butt then?
I like to do a full like barbecue rub on that one with just make your own rub with some brown sugar, some
Mm.
smoked paprika, garlic, onion powder, some cumin. I like cumin in there too. And then obviously salt and but yeah, just make your own barbecue rub or a decent barbecue rub from like Meat Church or something like that. That is for pork. That's what I like. It gives it a little bit of sugar in there, the brown sugar, and then the paprika gives it some color. So I like that. And then when you pull it all together, and the fat has melted and all the grease is around through there, the grease is kind of like red, and so then it just makes it more appetizing. I think I like that.
I like that.
But I think it's good when it's just simple too, though. So yeah,
hmm
either way would be good with that.
Yeah,
But I think pork stands up to more. You can get a little bit fancier with the ingredients.
you
yeah.
think?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think because yeah, I think like personally, I think beef has such an awesome flavor on its own
Hmm.
that you are always worried about like overdoing it. Whereas pork is like, if you're actually tasting, this tastes really porky. Yeah,
Maybe you don't want
yeah,
that.
maybe you don't want that the most. But I full blown had like pepper, onion, garlic, salt on pork, pulled pork, and it's really good. Like I just season it enough, and it's great. But
Yeah.
yeah, I do like that way too. It's
Well, especially if you get your butts from like the grocery store, from like Sam's or something like that.
mhm.
I mean, unless you're getting some kind of heritage pork shoulder or something, the flavor of the pork, is the fat is based on what it eats. So
Oh,
the fat flavor isn't going to be the greatest from just a standard grocery store. So if you put a whole bunch of seasonings on it,
Hmm.
it'd be good.
have you seen? I don't remember what it's called, but like that super fancy pork that's
Like Wagyu pork, basically.
basically it was
Yeah.
Ibericon or
Iberico?
Iberico maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
And they only eat like mostly their diet is acorns.
acorns. Yeah.
And when you look at a slab of this meat, you're like, that's gotta be steak. It's darker and there's so much marbling of fat in it. And supposedly the flavor is just not even comparative. Like normal pork is like basically flavorless and gross
Iberico?
compared to it. Yeah. Hey, look at that. That looks like a ribeye. Over to the left there?
So it looks like a pink rib. Oh, that's Berkshire thick Kappa pork steaks. But yeah, that's probably what I just looked up pork Wagyu because I didn't know what it was
Yeah.
called.
Yeah,
But
it's definitely very expensive, but it's really, really interesting the way the meat looks.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, that looks like a steak.
Yeah, look at that.
We should try
No,
that.
it'd be really fun to order something like that in just to try it.
Podcast cook.
I mean, I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
We're taste the cocktails, and that's a lot of fun. That's one of the things I'm a papa passionate about.
Oh yeah,
But
acorn fed. It's all acorn. They advertise that. Interesting.
smoking something for the pod and actually filming us smoking and everything, that'd be a lot of fun.
That would be cool.
I
So
think we need to buy a pork shoulder from Sam's and then order Iberico and have everyone chip in,
Oh
get a really
Compare.
nice
man,
shoulder,
I
hook
would
them both
love
up,
that.
and have everyone taste it. Do the same thing with the brisket. Just get a brisket from
Oh,
Sam's
better
or
yet,
order one from Snake River.
have people there that do not know what the Iberico is, and just say, taste two of these porks and tell me if you tell the difference, and let them go off and see if they can be like, this is so different. Like I'd just be so interested.
$65 for a 2 pound one.
For
Pork
a two
shoulder.
pound one.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's crazy. But I always use sriracha as a binder too. I want to say that. I
Oh,
love that. Yeah.
interesting.
I've never tried
Yeah.
sriracha. We usually use yellow mustard.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Do you ever get like a
You get
little?
just a tiny little hint. That's why I love it because it never you can barely ever taste it. Because a lot of times, like my wife, she doesn't like hot stuff, and so she'll get nervous, and a lot of people will, but barely taste it. Just a
Yeah,
nice little.
like with the mustard, you can never
No, you
taste the
never
mustard.
taste it.
Yeah,
So, but this barely comes through just a little bit, gives it a little bit more flavor. So I love it.
that's really interesting.
Hmm.
I try that.
All right, Matt, you get 2 picks here at the turn.
Oh, okay, nice. So are we doing just smoking like low and slow meats, or just anything on a grill?
Anything,
Mm,
anything that you could cook on your smoker is what I'd say.
Okay.
So not
So
necessarily low
basically,
and slow.
oh, okay,
Yeah, because I mean, my smoker, I can turn it up to like, it's electric. I can turn it up to like 400 degrees. So,
okay. Um, yeah. So I'd say spare ribs and then tri-tip.
oh,
oh yeah,
I was hoping the tri-tip would come back to
you're
me.
saying pork ribs, right?
Yeah. Well, I'd love to do beef ribs, but I've actually never done beef ribs.
Me either.
Not on the smoker. Um, yeah, I said I'd like to try that though.
I don't know if I have.
Yeah, they take up a lot of
I've done short ribs, but never the full beef ribs.
hmm. Let's see, this is where it gets tough, huh? All the main ones got took. Keep talking. I gotta look a little bit.
Oh, I mean, actually, all this talk of smoking meat sounds really good.
It does, man.
Like right now, just imagining a little smoking project sounds just unbelievable.
It is fun. That's why I like it. It's because I enjoy doing it.
Yeah, we need to try. Also, what we should try is get two of the exact same pieces of meat and do one on the offset smoker with real sticks of wood, and the other one on a pellet smoker,
Yeah, I've
and
always been
everyone taste
curious.
that.
Hmm.
That would be, yeah, that'd be also a cool experiment. I'd love to do an experiment on. Do you know about like brining chicken, Ethan?
Yeah.
You know, whole brining it?
Hmm.
Yeah, whenever Dad actually just made it the other night, I tasted it. It's just unbelievable. Uh, yeah, if you've never had brine chicken, you smoked it and cooked it, oh my goodness! Like if you like chicken, it will be the best chicken you've ever had. The breast is the juiciest you've ever had, and it's just so much flavor. Every piece of meat, no matter how far in the carcass it is
Mm.
perfectly salted. It's just perfect. It's so good. So yeah, chicken. And I'm not even the biggest fan of chicken personally. If I can taste chicken on chicken, I kind of don't like it. But brine, it takes away the chickeny flavor, and it's just amazing. I want to try doing that with like a Boston butt. Like I wonder, I don't know if I ever even looked that up. I wonder if we do the same thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've never done that. I've injected the butt before with different things, but I've never tried that. But yeah, when you brine chicken anyway, it changes the texture and the color of the meat. Even. I don't
Does
know what it would do.
does injection like make a big difference?
I haven't found it to.
Okay. Because I've been looking at that. I don't know. I just figured it probably didn't do too much, you know.
I feel
I've
like
never
whenever,
done it like back to back like
Hmm.
that would be a good comparison too though. Is inject one and
Yeah.
not do the other one, see if you can tell a difference.
it
Have
just
you?
seemed like it kind of steamed the meat slightly. Like it kind of just cooked differently when you injected it.
I'm not sure if I can tell the difference. That's the thing.
Well,
I
you
don't
can do
know.
that with butcher paper and tinfoil, you know.
Yeah, you've done
So,
Okay.
that.
um, what about? Have you ever used tallow?
Mm.
Yeah, and put the like you can get Wagyu beef tallow
Tallow, yeah.
and like spread it on the brisket.
Hmm.
And like if that Aaron I forget his last name, but from Austin, Texas.
Franklin?
Yeah, Aaron Franklin. Yeah, they say that that's what he does for his
Okay.
briskets. Is he spreads the Wagyu beef tallow over it and then wraps it in paper and it soaks through the paper and
Man. Yeah.
adds a lot of flavor to
Yeah,
it.
I had his brisket when he did the tallow, and it was, I mean, personally, I thought it was a night and day difference. It was unbelievably insane. The flavor is so interesting. It almost tastes like, I don't know how to explain it, like way, way more beefy, almost jerky, but not jerky. Like I'm not describing it right, but it was almost like it just so much more flavor. Like it
And it
was
almost seemed to
awesome.
bring out more wood flavor, like
Mhm.
in kind of a weird way where you wouldn't have thought that because it's just the fat.
That's
So maybe
interesting.
when you're tasting it, some of what you think is a wood flavor is not. Maybe it's just beefiness.
Yeah,
All right. Well, we're coming up on like 15 minutes of this, so we probably need to get going on this. But I'm going with burnt ends
oh wow.
Yeah, that's a good
because
one.
I've never personally done them, but man, they are just delicious little beef nuggets. Oh man, they
Mm.
don't get better. So I love burnt ends. So
That's good.
all right, Caleb, you got two here.
Um,
And this will probably wrap us up because I'm running on fumes in terms of what to pick.
I'll do sausage.
Oh,
I do love smoked sausage.
a
Um,
buttered sausage.
butter sausage. I don't do jam. I do honey. I kiss on the lips. And then, man, I feel like I'm probably missing some, but honestly, like a brined chicken, whole chicken but brined. Yeah, it's just awesome.
Yeah, we already talked about that, and those are
Yeah,
delicious. So
yeah,
I'm gonna end mine out with chicken thighs.
nice.
Chicken thighs just have the best flavor.
Yeah, that is my favorite part of the meat.
Yep.
Eh,
So that's what I like. All right, your last one, unless we decide to do another round.
Um, well, since we're scraping the bottom of the barrel, I'll go with it's basically on the grill, not necessarily on the smoker. But when we were in Florida, we did scallops and shrimp
Oh,
and fish, and we just did a whole pile of seafood on the grill, and that was just
You smoked shrimp. Actually, yeah,
yeah.
I mean, the
But
smoked
I think
shrimp that
the
you
high
made is
temperature was
awesome.
a little bit better, and the scallops were just really good over the high temperature.
Yeah, that was really good.
that's an awesome one. Yeah, man, that was fun. We can talk a lot about smoking. I didn't realize how much we could go on that one.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of like interesting ways of doing it that not a lot of everyone like does the
Everyone's
same.
different. Yep,
Yeah,
yep. Everyone's different. So, like, my dad makes like the best wings, smoked wings. I always thought like they're the same every time, and they're delicious. And I've not had any like them. But
gosh, that's a great one. If you buy a whole bag of
yeah, no
wings
one even picked
and
that.
then you brine it,
Oh yeah.
I wonder what the wings would be like.
Yeah, I don't know how that works with yeah. I mean, it works on thighs, so
If you just
why
brined
wouldn't it
all the
work on the wing?
wings and then made them obviously crispy after smoking them or something.
To me, the biggest difference is in the white meat, though. When you're when
Yes.
you're
Yeah.
browning it, though. So
If I had one more pick, I'd pick the Argentine blue-billed duck.
There's one piece of that meat I think would be real good in the smoker.
Mm.
definitely brine though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you gotta
yeah,
brine
you
it,
gotta brine that.
spatchcock it, everything.
Yeah, gotta spatchcock that.
All right, so our big topic today is
Mm,
AI,
yes, AI.
and not that AI.
I don't know. Yeah,
Artificial intelligence is what we're talking about.
yeah. Stop yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, a good way to get into it was the fact that this drink was made by Chat GPT.
Hmm.
Isn't that wild? And we all loved it. We all really
Oh,
liked
it's
it.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I helped it along a little bit. I didn't go crazy and just say, hey, do something completely random. I kind of gave it an idea of what I wanted, and then I even kind of asked it certain things and critiqued it. But I've seen it done before. It just invents something. And while I was talking to it today, I don't really use it that much. I just try different things with it, and it literally, man, I feel like pretty soon Google is just not going to be like you searching something on a tab, typing something in, and looking through different websites and find your answer. It's just not going to be there
Hmm.
soon because ChatGPT just gave me an answer. Like I asked something like, what's a recipe for this that was really popular in the 17th century, and just boom, in 5 seconds I had the exact thing I wanted. I didn't have to scroll through websites or blogs of moms going, this season really reminds me of my father and my kids love playing these games. I skipped all that and I just went straight to a really good recipe. It was really neat.
Yeah, you don't have to Google search, basketball to find out what this rule means. You
Right.
just ask ChatGPT, what did it mean when they called a charge? And
Hmm.
it details it for you. Whereas used to, you had to search for it a little bit. So who would ever thought Google would like be obsolete? And we're not saying it is, obviously,
Yeah.
but you're right. With being able to ask a specific question and get a specific answer.
Or better yet, like follow-ups.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Like,
you can come back to your
yeah,
conversation. You can ask another
yeah.
question.
Like you can't do the Google like, okay, that's interesting, but how about in this situation? Oh, you just ask it. So how about this situation? Tells you immediately. That's
It's wild.
have you used much of GPT?
No, I haven't used ChatGPT at all. Just use a little bit of AI art with Mid-Journey,
Oh
which
yeah.
is pretty impressive. But
Do you have to pay for that?
yeah, a little bit. I think it's like $3 a month. It's
I
not
think
too
that and that's just
expensive.
for the Discord. Having your own
Having your own server, you can
having your
actually do
own
it for
server on
free. There's a
Discord,
way to
yeah.
do it for free.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you can do it for free, but you're doing it in like a group, like worldwide server, pretty much, and
So it
everyone's
takes. Oh, I saw that. Yeah, I
yeah, and
remember you doing
everyone's like you can see everyone's stuff they're making. They all see what you're making. But yeah, you just pay a private server on Discord, and then you go just talking to the AI itself, and it's making you stuff, and no one else can see what you're doing.
that. Interesting.
But I think the most interesting thing right now about AI is the concept of it replacing jobs. But what I've seen is that um, within a couple of years, they're saying that I think a lot of attorneys are going to be out of jobs because already a lot of what entry level attorneys do, ChatGPT can already do that. So, like if you just needed a letter to respond to a standard issue, it can do just as good as a human. And so that right there just cuts through so much labor and replaces so many people all at one time.
Hmm.
Who knows where it goes from there? It's pretty interesting.
So we were talking about. I think it was with Nick the other day, just with the writer's strike and everything, and the new laws against using ChatGPT. Um, but what's the difference between using ChatGPT to write scripts basically for movies and robots in assembly lines replacing humans' jobs? What's the difference? Because no one had a problem with robots replacing anybody.
I think it's the creative license. So if you make a piece of art,
Hmm.
then you hold the copyright on that. Whereas if you are just reproducing the same thing over and over again, so like an attorney who spits out a letter to take care of a traffic ticket or something like that, he's
Hmm.
not doing a piece of art. He's just putting together the correct legal information. And so to have a robot do that,
So it's nothing that he owns
yeah, he doesn't own
or can
that.
claim.
It's a basic
Yeah.
process that he's following, and instead, ChatGPT can now do that same basic process. Whereas when you when you do art, and it is interesting that we even kind of categorize those things as different, whereas one thing's creative and one thing we don't think is creative. But ChatGPT can kind of replace both of them right now, though.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, but do you see with the strikes that it pretty much made it that
Yeah, you can't
you're
use
not
it.
allowed to use AI to write.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is that we're just categorizing those two things as two different things,
You
right?
know, and that's the weird part to me. I think actually what it comes down to is like, why they're fine with robots working in a factory? It's because it's a stupid job that no one really wants, and only poor people are doing it. Whereas writers, I feel like that's a nicer job and takes a lot of creativity. And you kind of gotta be somebody to be writing for big Hollywood movies.
I guess, but could those people work online?
Could those people,
Yeah.
if they were trained, probably.
I think it takes a certain type of person to work online
It,
because everyone hates it,
everyone hates it, yeah.
and you've got to put up with it. I don't know. I get what you're saying. I also see it the other way.
Yeah, because I can see that no one really wants to do it, but is there people that that's kind of their only option, and
Maybe,
you get paid good
unfortunately,
money to do it, and then if you have a robot taking your job, that kind of sucks. Like
that
that was
does
that was a
suck.
whole thing. That was one of the
Because it was
biggest.
such a big
Yeah,
number of jobs that
yeah,
took so many people,
yeah. exactly.
especially like in Detroit and stuff, and all the
Yep,
car.
yep. Screwing over people, and they were really worried about it.
Well, that's probably why Detroit's like nothing anymore. It's because them robots.
I mean, yeah, a lot of different things, but yeah, losing jobs definitely made that area not as good.
Thanks
That's it.
AI.
Yeah, thanks a lot, AI. Yeah, before you even were a thing. That's just wild though. Like, what? So, what do you think it's going to be taking over and using that we are not even thinking about right now? Like, it's not right now. Like right now, writing a script that's a worry right now, and people are saying you can't use AI for it. But what do you think? This is only become a problem within a year. This
That's the
year.
crazy thing is how quickly AI has like
Yeah.
become a thing.
Last year, no one was saying
Uh,
AI is going to take jobs and it's going to be, of course, there's always been talk of like AI taking over humanity. But
Movies.
yeah, but never being like within this year, it was no, actually, they're writing scripts.
Well, as soon as they get AI to work for driving, as soon as AI can drive safer than the average driver, that's going to be the biggest thing because how many jobs are linked to driving where it's like DoorDash, Uber, bus driving, truck driving. Truck driving is the number
Whoa.
one job for men
Truck
between
driving.
certain ages. So you could just replace every single job that is just like a courier between two places and involve driving overnight is just gone,
Well, what
which
about
is a
like a
huge one.
pilot?
Yeah, man. I don't
Yeah.
know.
And see, everyone always says, because right now it is true, AI can be really intelligent, even like Tesla. It has so much information. It's really good at what it does, but still, human intuition always comes out on top. So a human has to stay awake behind the wheel. You can't be sleeping. You can't be doing stuff. You gotta be pay attention because it could at some point just not figure out a situation correctly. So a human is important in that situation. But I mean, how long have we had that? Like, it's not gonna be much more where no,
Yeah, and the issue is that people do that a lot too.
people do it a lot too. Exactly. So the second is statistically better, then no one can really complain about it.
Yeah.
That's gonna be wild. That is, yeah. There's no one piloting planes, and there's no one piloting trucks around the country or world, wherever it is. That's that's crazy.
Yeah, but I think truck driving is like the number one job for men between certain ages. So it's like
Hmm.
a huge chunk of the country is just out of work overnight. And they don't have any other options too.
Nothing to replace
Yeah,
that, you know? That's
I think
odd.
people who are pilots have made it all the way to be a pilot. It's not that many people, but they can get into something else. I mean,
And they've
right
had to
now
go to
they're already,
school,
yeah,
so they've had a more education. They can get a job easier.
yeah.
that is that actually is very. See, that's where you can understand that it's kind of scary, but at the
The
same
writers, yeah.
time, what are you gonna do about it? Same with the robots. If you can make a robot and make kind of an investment, but it's way cheaper over time, and it's just doing the work that a human would hate to do, but sure, some humans want to do it because they need work, but no one likes it.
No complaining.
Then, yeah, the
Business,
driving
business
jobs.
wise, it's a
Well, how
smart
many
decision.
jobs do you think couldn't be replaced by AI pretty quickly, especially if they could do the driving? Let's say the AI can drive better than a human. What job would not be replaced?
Physical labor.
Yeah, only
True.
those that it wouldn't make sense. Like for you to develop a robot to do pest control
Yeah.
might not pay you back quick enough, right?
Well,
So
that
that
would,
might be okay to have people do, right?
yeah. You would have to make an AI robot,
Yeah,
which is a lot more.
yeah,
The only thing,
way too much
the only thing
development, right?
Yeah.
hindering you back on that one is the body, which is the robot.
Well,
You can't have a robot just running around doing physical acts of labor.
yeah. I mean, iRobot. I mean,
Yeah, if you had that,
I hope
I
that
mean,
I hope that doesn't happen
yeah, that would be
because that actually is a little scary. Like this, I can control, right? I can unplug this, but a robot, no. At some point, I don't know. That's a little scary.
But if you think about if everyone loses their job, or if a huge chunk of the population loses their job, the government's probably going to do like universal basic income or something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
Otherwise, people would just
everything
go
will be
up in
like
arms and
free,
yeah,
and you can only take so much.
It would literally
yeah.
be iRobot. Yeah, the
No,
So
most
then,
it
of
would be
society.
Wally.
yeah,
Oh
exactly.
crap! I mean,
Yeah,
that's that would be
Well,
that
and
is
then who would you get to work like at at your pest control business? who would be willing to work? If you get free income, why would you even want to work? I mean, a lot of people I think wouldn't even care.
Some people gotta want to chase the bread, you know?
Maybe,
Hopefully.
maybe.
I guess it would really turn into a family operated business then, huh?
Actually,
But
so that's the next thing then. Like it doing tasks, but how about creative things? We were talking about writing,
mhm,
but how about like designing houses?
yeah.
How about art and like, actually on its own?
Well, art is such a small fraction of people's jobs. I think the bigger thing is like home design, stuff more like office
Yeah,
jobs.
I guess by art I mean like interior design, architectural design, uh, designing products and things and decorative items people want to buy.
Yeah.
Those kind of people that are working nonstop around the clock to make clothing, art decor, room decor, whatever it is, paint, whatever, just to be artistic. I mean, do you think that's something that AI could be doing?
I think
Probably
I think like
is the
architecture is
scary
going to take a
part.
long time because right now, like if you use Photoshop, AI generative fill, it has a really hard time understanding the concept of that this item exists in the real world and actually replacing it instead of just trying to make it look similar to other things that it's seen. So I think it's kind of like a two-dimensional translation. So I think like if it looks at words on a page, it can take the words on the page and put it here. But at the same time, if you can teach it driving, then you could teach it that. I just think there wouldn't be as much money into teaching AI to replace home designers as replacing a driver, you know.
Oh yeah, sure. But how about
But things
capability?
like doing like the rendering, like as soon as somebody just teaches AI to do the renderings, then rendering is completely gone. And
Yeah.
we're not
So,
going to do that anymore.
so do you see it as something more that you could use to your benefit, or do you see it as a threat?
No, I think it would be a tool for a long time before it would completely
I think
replace
so
us
too. Yeah.
because it's just like not every single thing is connected, so it's kind of complex, and so like already you can there's AI rendering where we can design a house and put it in there and we can say uh show me this house and it's just like a line drawing but show me this house in the snow with this color this and this on there and it'll give you a rendering but it just doesn't work because people want precise things like they want a certain color of siding they want a certain color but as soon as they teach AI to do something specific like that then that's going to be gone because that'll just do itself.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy.
Yeah, I definitely see that happening.
But like you were saying, I think the jump from where we are now, which is AI, is kind of more of a recreational thing, or just a basic human service, like people can go on there and ask a question. I think the jump from that to okay, we're taking a lot of jobs is very far. And I think that's going to take some time if it ever happens. Because I don't, like you said, I don't think the government wants people to basically be like just useless,
Yeah,
like have no jobs and there's no jobs to even give them. I don't think the
yeah, people would
government wants
revolt.
that.
Yeah,
So I don't think that would be good for anybody, a whole country, the government, the people. I don't think it would be positive. So I think everyone knows that. And I think it's a good tool to use, but I don't see anything crazy like that happening probably in our lifetime.
I see that just within our lifetime, like me and Ethan, how much our phones have changed and
Yeah, but not
how
you.
much it,
Not your
no,
lifetime.
just us.
Like,
Your lifetime, you didn't have a cell phone.
oh, you
Like
mean
it
like in
didn't
the
exist.
past?
Yeah,
Oh, I
no,
thought
no,
you meant okay.
no, yeah, yeah, yeah. Just what we've experienced, from what I had as a kid to what I have now, is 100% different. Like it did a mind blowing upgrade to something I couldn't even imagine
Like
before.
the iPad.
Like an iPad to what before was flip phones. And how about a flip phone to you have to only call someone from home?
Well, like you said,
That's this much time.
yeah,
But then what if I tell you that this all this AI stuff going to the public is within a
true.
year? That's like
Well,
I
you
think the possibility of it jumping is going to be
and
really
it
fast.
will. And like when we were kids, would anyone have ever thought, okay, we're gonna have like screens in our pockets. We're gonna have screens that we take to work, we take to everything. You know,
Right. Yeah.
would anyone have thought that? No. And so you sit there. I at least have done this. I sit there and I say, what's next? Like, how can this grow? How can this like evolve more? And I'm like, I have no idea. But there's got to be a way, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a weird question.
Well, what about too, if you look at something like cell phones and having that screen in your pocket, I mean, I wouldn't foresee very many negative results from that, but there's tons of studies out that it's harming people mentally. And
Yeah.
so what would the side effects be of AI being integrated fully into the population? There's got to be so
Oh my
many. It's
goodness.
just like it's like on a curve of all of the
Yeah.
side effects that would come
It
from
is,
that.
Wally, because you don't have to do anything anymore.
So think about like iPad kids, you
Oh,
know?
dude.
So like, my wife called me an iPad kid because I'm on my phone. But like a real iPad kid, they take their iPad everywhere. They got some giant bright case on it. It's all crusty with food stuff.
Oh,
And, they are an iPad kid. But what if the next thing is like an AI kid and they're basically just like an NPC? Like what will AI being so mainstream do to people? Like you're saying, what's the effect?
Yeah.
If that's the way it goes. Like, will people literally just be NPCs?
that is
Like
interesting.
actual real life
If at
NPCs?
any moment you can actually have, like people says about Google, but if at any moment you can actually have any answer you need to anything, even creative answers to situations,
You could literally
that would
type
change the way
in
you think.
what the person say, give me a response to.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
Yeah,
then you're just like,
yeah.
I mean,
What happens when
wow.
the AI gives a better answer than you?
Yeah, and people say, like in this line of reasoning, they'll say, well, people complained about books when they came out, that would be the end of whatever. And then people complained, as soon as there's a computer, as soon as there's word processors, they complained at every turn. But people ended up being right. People are less creative with every single implementation of that kind of technology. So what kind of change does it go through when anything that you do artistically, you could just say the words into an AI and get something better?
hmm
Mhm.
It's just like why try to do anything? And so it just takes
And like
yeah,
to an extent, our brain is like a muscle. Whereas when you're using it, you're training it, you're exercising it, it gets better, it's easier to use. But when you never have to use your brain,
yeah,
like you get dumber. I mean,
We literally talked about that in the last episode. We talked about the Mandela effect, and literally an actual study was done, and it's people's minds today do not work on storing memories the way they used to. Because before, whenever you read information, saw information, whatever it was, your brain stored it differently because you knew you needed to keep that information on you. It was very important to you. You knew you had to have it in your head. So that's why remembering numbers, remembering all this basic information was always in your head, and you can remember so much better, a lot clearer because you needed to. And the more and more you don't have to remember that, you don't think that way. Now that you can just know in your head, I can access any number I need, any information I need, like recipes, facts, anything. I can just access it right now. Your brain will not store it. It will
yeah,
overlap itself continuously and not actually keep information for a longer period of time. So
man,
100%, don't use your mind. You literally don't think the same. You don't remember the same. So what would AI do to that? I mean, just the existence of phones is doing that to us. I mean,
yeah, phones have changed humanity. Like
100%.
everyone's different now.
Yes.
Even my grandparents, which you never thought they would really grasp onto it. They would get it. They would use phone. My grandpa has on his TV, has earphones, and watches like Facebook videos on his
Yeah.
iPad.
Yeah.
And he used to get on to me and my cousin Harley. We've seen him for being on our iPads or our phones or playing video games too much. And now he's an iPad kid,
Hmm?
except an
Yeah.
adult, like a grown man, an old man. So, but it's changed. It's changed everybody.
That is weird. Especially when you talk to, like, I know my dad knows this too, talking to your other grandpa, just talking about life and how he dealt with things, and how what his father taught him, what his grandpa taught him.
Which
Just
grandpa?
Gerald.
Oh,
Yeah, just super, like, it's such a different life. It's just you can't even imagine those like what the information he knows and the facts he knows and the wisdom he has is not really useful anymore, sadly. But it's just so interesting. It's such a
Yeah.
kind of sad you don't have to think about that
Well,
anymore,
it's like he remembers when he got electricity, you
dude.
know?
Yeah,
And that's just incomprehensible to me because I have a TV in three different places right here,
Mhm.
and I have lights, and I have my computer, and it's working, and I'm charging it, and this is running off it, and this is running off of it. It's just a completely different world, you know?
Yeah, if the power goes out now, it's like, what do we do? Everyone's in a panic,
Yeah. How do I
right?
sleep? I don't
Before,
have my fan running, you
yeah,
know? What do I do with myself? Play a board game? No thanks, you know?
yeah. No thanks, man.
yeah. Gerald was telling me about that his dad told him a story about how to train mules or something like that, right? And it's like, how quickly does all of that information just disappear? Like, who cares about
Tractors got rid of
training
that, you
mules,
know?
right? It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that used to be something that maybe like 60, 70% of the population knew how to
Mm-hmm.
handle, and now there's probably a couple people in the
A
whole country that know how to
fraction.
do that.
Yeah.
but isn't it? Doesn't it, I don't know, kind of weird you guys out. This is the part that gets me really thinking odd. Is that that information was valid and extremely important for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years,
Thousands, yeah,
thousands of years.
yeah,
So it didn't advance for a really long
Yeah,
time, is
like
what you're saying.
knowing how to train your mules, knowing how to attend to your land, knowing how to cook this food and survive in these certain situations and build a house, all that, thousands of years.
Well,
Important.
I do think it's a sliding scale because as technology improves, it's easier to get new
Yeah,
technology, right?
yeah,
So it's like once we develop a smartphone, then it's easier to build on that, you know? It's you progress
yeah.
faster because
And
your tools are
it's just
better.
crazy how it what's it called? Is it quantified uh increase? What's the word when it just increases with more increasement
incrementally,
Yeah.
incrementally?
yeah,
But what's it called when it gets more each time?
yeah,
I forget it. Is it quantitative or I don't know. Anyway,
maybe, yeah,
We get what you're saying.
yeah,
on a
but
curve, yeah,
yeah, it just absolutely just spikes insane. So for thousands of years, humanity just like I mean, there's advancements and
Jeez,
there's
man.
downfalls, but information is valid throughout the whole way through about, and then all of a sudden, just boom, within a few generations, information that they knew is actually worthless, like means nothing to the how way we live now. Kind of weird and scary.
but yeah, at the same time, they had electric cars in the 1890s, and with four wheels and tires, and now 130 years later, we still have electric cars with wheels, four tires, steering. It's like some things kind of stall. There's not that much improvement, and even our devices are just a screen presenting a shinier picture of the same thing. So the input's better and the output is better, but it's not new technology. It's like everything popped onto the new technology popped up, but hasn't really progressed that much further.
That's okay. Yeah, that's true. But still, it's way more. How about before those electric cars? So yeah, you just said 120 years ago, they had a working vehicle and could kind of get around town. So that existed. But how about a little bit before that? There was nothing. That's for thousands of years.
Yeah, so which time was the bigger increase in technology? From
So
that
that's the
from
weirdness.
1880 to 1920 or from 1980 to 2020?
Yeah. Well, we're getting probably to all these like conspiracy things, but we should talk about some other time. But it's just history is very odd. If you were to
Is
think
that like
that,
the Tesla stuff that you're talking referring to?
eh?
Yeah.
No, I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
referring to like
I don't know anything.
no. I'm just referring to just. There's a lot of people talk about history and what we actually know and what is actually real about it because it is weird. You're telling me thousands of years it's like this, and then last 150 years, 200 years, just absolute, just super hardcore upslope, super odd. I don't know. It's very interesting. That's what makes you kind of like what you're saying. Yeah, 100% true. Yeah, it's like it was the same thing, but just better. It's not new technology. It's just improving on the existence of what was already there. But that's why AI is kind of the new technology. I think
Hmm.
from the basis of AI could be really weird stuff. Don't you think? I mean,
Gotta be.
Yeah, and it's a turn that I guess and people think about robots and stuff like that, like replacing uh, human physical labor, but then just replacing human brains is a whole nother
yeah,
thing.
that is.
That's years off, though. I don't think we have
I
to
think a
worry.
lot of
I don't know.
already like attorneys are already suffering big time because you can right now go online. It's called Robot Attorney, and it's a website that is AI backed, and you can literally have them uh, provide you legal um, legal work. You know, draft up a letter that tells this such and such person to cease and desist this and this, and
Hmm.
it'll put together a whole letter through AI, and it
Yeah.
must be under the supervision, I guess, of a licensed attorney or something.
Oh,
Um,
wow. The person challenging a speeding ticket would wear smart glasses that both record court proceedings and dictate responses into the defendant's ear from a small speaker. And that was using like a robot lawyer, which what I Googled was robot attorney. So I think that's what it is. And that's from NPR. So
I
AI
saw.
powered legal defense was set to take place, but they shut it down. Sorry.
oh, really?
No,
They shut it down.
oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yep. The first ever AI powered legal defense was set to take place in California on February 22nd, but not anymore. As word got out, an uneasy buzz began to swirl among various state bar officials, and they shut it
Wow.
down. Yeah, and this is dated January
Well, that might
25th.
be the first time it was going to argue in court, but what about
Using it
yeah, like just
before
like
you go to court.
there's
People
a
have
lot of
personal attorneys all
attorneys
the time.
who have never argued anything in court
Hmm.
because all they do is draft up letters for people,
Yep.
you
Yep.
know?
I literally saw it was a podcast interview, and this guy was just talking random stuff. But yeah, he mentioned that. He said that he has a personal attorney, and he had an issue that he had a question about what to do. He first asked just ChatGPT the same questions that he was going to ask because he has to pay like $100 an hour or something like that or more talking to his attorney. He calls his attorney, asks the same questions, and ChatGPT already answered it exactly the way the attorney did, but he didn't have to pay $100. I mean, I think that's just like that's weird. It's not even this the lawyer bot you're talking about. It's just ChatGPT answered the same way an attorney did. That's that's
Spooky.
scary. A robot.
That's the crazy thing though, is that's not far off. Like that's something we have to think about now.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Is
yeah,
what's the in game? What's the bad part of all this? What's the negative that could happen? You know?
yeah, and I think what's interesting is the technology for that already exists, and they're just holding it back. And
Mhm.
the driving thing, Tesla's been working on that for a while, and they said they were close over and over again. And I almost wonder if they were told to shut it down, it's just not going to work for a while or something.
Not right now.
Because because they like it was like 4 or 5 years ago they said that within a couple months they're going to be done with it. So
He's sharp, isn't he?
Actually, even that one was crazy because they kept trying to program an AI for driving, and they're trying all the time, and it didn't really work. And finally, they built an AI to build another AI to do that, and then it finally worked.
That's wild, man.
Like that's
So
the insane
so
part.
AI got smarter.
AI figured it out
Yeah,
better than they could.
that's crazy. That's crazy, man. I'll tell you one thing: the Phillies are going to win the World Series.
You think?
That's what it looks like. I've been watching them. They've hit two dingers. I mean, they're killing this guy. Kelly's the pitcher. I feel bad for him.
I don't know. Texas looks like that too, though.
Yeah,
Whether or
that's
not.
true. I don't know. This is the only time of year I watch baseball, so.
Hmm.
But I mean, Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, they've got a stacked roster.
Yeah.
So I'm actually excited to see because I'm making my call right now. So we'll see what happens. There's old Marte, your old buddy.
Oh man, I love Marte.
He's actually really good.
Is he?
Yeah, he's pretty good. Sorry, I didn't mean to divert. I've been wanting to make a comment about the Phillies for a minute now. I've been sitting here basting on my decision whether I should say they're gonna win or
Make a
not.
prediction or not?
Yeah, making my prediction.
All right, put money down. We're all betting.
Yep. So Yeah, AI is a bit scary, but for now it's pretty fun. I
Yeah.
enjoy. I downloaded the Chat GPT app today, or
Hey.
GPT. I don't know, but it's fun to mess with.
Yeah. Right
Always
now it's
fun to
just
play
fun.
with your little Snapchat AI.
Yeah, that's fun too.
Yeah, but gotta be careful because that's going to someone's direct feed. So
Oh
that's the
yeah.
scary part. But
Well, someone's chat out there.
yeah, someone gets to know exactly my thoughts, which isn't really good.
They're not the best thoughts.
Yeah, so
But yeah, I think we all need to do a for sure. Going back out to the beginning is a cook us in the smoker.
we need to make a YouTube video that's like just us, like
Yeah,
being
smoking.
ourselves,
Yeah,
not an episode,
no,
just like us making a YouTube video.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that
That's
would be
another
fun.
recent change we've made. Is that we saw that pretty much everybody only listens to the episodes on Spotify. And they do not watch the content. So if you're like driving and stuff like that, then yeah, you're not going to be watching it. So we're only going to now just do it's just the audio on Spotify. But if you want to watch it, uh, it's all on YouTube. So you
And
can
it
find our
will
YouTube.
be on Spotify one day if we gain success.
Yeah,
But for now, no.
yeah. For
So
right now, we're
no
just going to stick
reason,
to that.
no reason.
Yeah,
But we're gonna keep bringing it to you because we have fun and it's an excuse to get together every week. So
yep.
something we like to do.
And our just huge, unbelievably, just giant fan base
Yeah,
that's begging for it. So
yeah. We do have a lot of our listens have definitely
yeah,
been growing for sure.
as you know,
What do you guys call the fans?
fans.
We talk about that in one of the last episodes. I
Yeah,
think we
didn't
came
we?
up with a little something.
But what is something funny?
Papa's Pals.
I have
Papa
Papa Pals.
Pals. It's Papa
Yeah,
Pals.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Papa Pals.
Papa
Wow.
Pals.
Man,
So
all of our little Papa Pals out there.
thank you to all the pals.
So I've just got millions and millions of pals out there.
Dude, if we're gonna owe you so much in royalty fees one day.
Actually, one of our biggest fans is Nate. He comments on every single
And he's
podcast we do.
definitely gotta come on soon.
Oh my goodness, yeah, we
Yeah.
have to ask him. He's never like said he wants to, but he wants to. He wants to come
Hmm.
on and try one of these
Oh, he
podcasts.
will if we asked him, I
Yeah,
know. And shout out to all my buddies from school who listen. Thank
yeah.
you.
We have
Thank
a
you, Kobe the pilot. Hopefully AI doesn't take your job.
yeah.
Keep commenting and giving us suggestions, please.
Yes, please
So
do.
anything else, lads?
Papa.
You good?
Sure.
Anything else you want to say about AI?
No, I think we're good. Yeah.
I think you love it.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. All
What's
right.
next? What are you talking about next?
What are we talking about
I think
next?
we've exhausted all of that, huh?
I think we
Oh, you
definitely
want to
have.
keep going?
You want
Oh,
to?
I don't know.
Let's,
Is it
if you want, we're
Yeah.
gonna keep going. Absolutely.
all right?
We don't put a cap
Hey,
on
if you
this.
want, we could take a break and maybe
Oh
we
yeah,
can
let's
have something to
reevaluate.
drink.
We'll be right
Yeah,
back. Yeah, grab a beer. We'll be right back.
Top 3 beers.
Woo.
It's another draft.
We are back. We are back and talking about our favorite beers,
Basically,
and it's almost unanimous. I think the Belgian triple.
we are big fans here of Belgian triples. But our favorite style has got to be, at least, I mean, I think we all agree on this one. New Belgium's
New
triple.
Belgium triple.
Yeah. It's not as high proof as you expect from other triples. Usually it's a 9.5. This is only 8.5. So it's a little lower. It's dry. The sweetness is tempered from the dryness, and it's awesome spices. I think there's orange peel and cardamom in it.
It's so good.
It's just
Cardamom.
yeah. If you've never had a triple, it just means triple the grain, so it's higher proof, so 8.5. And then the yeast that they use is a Belgian yeast, and Belgian yeast usually bring out like clove and actually cardamom even. Like it brings out baking spice flavor, but they actually put cardamom in this
Hmm.
as well. And I think maybe orange peel. I don't know, I might be wrong. I don't know.
Well, for me, a simpleton, right? This is a good light beer with so much more depth of flavor. It actually has flavor. It's not just like, okay, I'm going to put down 7 light beers. But no, it has a good flavor. You enjoy drinking it. and it's a high proof, which sometimes you're looking for, sometimes you're not.
Yeah.
So it's more of like a drink as opposed to a beer.
Okay.
Sometimes beer is necessary. Sometimes you do it because you enjoy it, right?
Sometimes you're grilling, you're doing any kind of guy
Sometimes the Vols
activity.
lose.
Yeah, and you need to tax some Coors Banquet.
Right. I
Yeah.
need to have all the bush peaches, right?
Yeah, all the Bush pizzas, yeah.
But
Occasionally.
it's Tuesday night. I'm with my guys. I need to have something good.
Yeah, let me look. This is a nice color on it.
Oh, it's the
It's
best.
not that hazy. It's a chilled glass, but if you look there, it's not hazy at all. And yeah, just baking spice deliciousness. I know, Dad. I mean, we think about Papa
You turned us on to it.
Yeah, this is my favorite beer of all time.
of all
New
time.
Belgium
Wow.
triple. Yeah,
Yep.
Try it.
Is yeah. Look it up. Get it. Uh, I
Asheville, North Carolina.
I
Right?
know I've talked about this. Yeah, Nick just went there. Actually, he went to Asheville.
Which preview for the next episode? Maybe Nick
Yeah.
can talk about his
Yeah,
journeys.
he needs to talk about that. Went to some awesome spots, and I was already telling him like, we need to go on there too. I mean, I want to go with him again, and he loved it so much. He's wants to go again, 100%. But I think we should all go, 100%. For beer lovers as we are, that just sounds like what a treat. I mean, New Belgium's there.
Breweries in
Wicked Weed,
general.
Wicked Weed. Uh,
Breweries in general is the environment I love.
Pernicious.
yes, a little bit of pernicious. Highland Brewing.
I don't know
Well,
what
Nick
that is.
literally
Oh no,
said
you should try it again. It's amazing.
he said there's like a brewery like every like 2 feet. Like there's like 14 breweries downtown or something ridiculous. Like Asheville is like ridiculous
Yeah,
brewery capital
yeah.
or
He
something.
said there's a bunch of cool ones to go
Yeah.
that's not in the downtown, but if you park in downtown, yeah, he said like
Yeah, so there's
you just
ones
walk in, like you
surrounding,
just
but
walk into
also
everything.
sorry, I was interrupting you the
No, no,
whole
no,
time.
100%, yeah.
Surrounding, but also right downtown. So
Yep.
just
I don't know where New Belgium's at, but that would be the one I'm really excited to go try out. And Wicked Weed.
and
As an IPA fan, I
Voodoo
love that.
Ranger.
Oh, I don't
What are
know. I
they?
mean, probably.
What are
They got
they?
it best.
Aren't they
New
out
Belgium.
there? Are they New
Oh,
Belgium
he's right.
too?
It is.
Mhm.
Yeah, that is New Belgium.
So they
Yeah,
make
it's the
all
same company. Yeah, all the
they
Voodoo
make
Rangers.
all
Yeah,
my favorite beers,
Yep.
man.
yeah,
And Wicked
IPAs and
Weed,
everything. Yeah,
I don't know if you've had Wicked Weed,
I
but they
haven't.
make some of the most interesting IPAs. I know you only like a niche part of that, but they make that and they make
I'm open to
sours.
trying everything now.
Are you?
I used to be very close-minded when it came to beer and very like casual, but now for some reason I don't know what changed, but I've been getting in more into, IPAs like we talked about with Fruit Force a couple times. And then other stuff too, like the triples and every I mean I'm just getting more into that world, so I'm not opposed to trying anything now.
Yeah, that Fruit Force was a gateway beer.
It's my gateway
It
drug.
was his gateway beer right there. Yeah, because after that, yeah, you got really into like different styles of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
gateway into IPAs.
yeah.
gateway into IPAs.
So
Yeah,
now I'm like, gaining weight and drinking
yeah,
beer all the
get
time.
fat. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is disgusting. But hey, but to us,
I'm
it's
already there,
beautiful.
boy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
hey.
Funny, I was that before I started drinking IPAs. So what does that
Wow.
mean?
Yeah. If I'm like that in 20 years, I'll be doing all right. So
Boy, ain't he on it.
ain't he on it?
Ain't he on
He's
it, boy.
sharp, isn't he?
Sharp, ain't he?
So no, we were just talking about guests we might possibly have and
Yeah.
maybe doing some interviews. We've had some of our friends on. Ryan, Harley, who else?
West,
West,
Connor,
Connor, Papa now.
Papa.
So that's about it. Basically just our friends, but we never really interviewed them. So we're gonna maybe bring that to you soon. Trying to do some interview episodes and maybe even interviewing, the original boys, us along with
Mhm.
Zach and Austin and seeing how that goes.
Yeah.
So
We also have plenty of other guests we want to invite on. Uh, we keep talking about trying to get lists around, but I think we need to actually do it. We're trying to get things around and plan it around for like an actual like season two,
yeah.
and season two begins. Our equipment is better as it has improved,
Yeah.
and our location's really nice, and we've pre-planned everything, and we
Mhm.
know what's going to be happening, and it's a lot better.
Our goals for season 2 is to have a set up spot,
Mhm.
have better sound quality, and have a camera. I think a camera is the biggest thing.
Designated.
So we're working on that. We've got a mixer. We've got some pretty good mics, but we might get better ones. We'll see. And then the setup, we're working on that right now. So we will try to bring a better product and then do some interviews and really start a serious podcast. I think we've decided we enjoy this and we can do it.
Yeah.
So now it's about time to either commit or decommit. So I think we're ready to commit.
Yep.
So,
So what's this podcast about? That's what.
and I think that's the problem is
Who are you? Who is
most
Papa's Playhouse?
this is the boys for the boys, friends. This it's just and that's the problem. Even as I answer this question, I'm creating a problem.
I feel like it's like this. I feel like the Playhouse is such a beautiful thing because a lot of different kinds of people that enjoy different things
Right.
can enjoy the Playhouse.
Like me and Caleb have very little in common
Yeah.
when it comes to comparative to other people,
Passions.
you know?
Yeah.
So me, the original five group, me, Zach, Caleb, Austin, and Nick. Me and Austin and Nick kind of are very similar. Our main
Yeah.
passion is like sports. We enjoy drinking. We enjoy a lot of similar things. Whereas maybe Caleb, Nick, and Zach are more into the nerdy type stuff, as you could say. So they all have that in common. And I'm into that to an extent, but not maybe not as much. But we're all together. We're all friends, and we can all be together one on one and be completely fine. So that doesn't really explain the point of the podcast, but that's just what it is. It's just a friend group that can talk about everything.
That's what I think it is. I think that's the beauty of it too. I feel like that we can be serious and we can talk about subjects like we did today. AI. We had a real discussion, but we actually explained our feelings about it. We can joke around the middle about it. I think that's the beauty of it. Any day in any
Hmm.
pod is a new subject, something we're thinking about, something we're talking about. None of us are experts, but we're going to talk about what we feel, and we're kind of funny sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, no.
So like
Uh,
my favorite things are sports and like video games. Whereas what's your favorite thing? Like definitely not sports.
no,
Yeah.
yeah. But I'll do the research necessary for game day pods.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But like you're super into
Outdoor activities,
cocktails,
maybe like
oh yeah,
camping,
hunting,
cooking
camping,
over the fire,
yeah. I love
archery.
fishing.
yeah. Yeah. I love cooking. I love especially outdoor cooking. I love camping.
And I
I love
like yeah.
cocktails. I love scotch. I love beer making and beer itself. I
And
like
I like that stuff, but I don't make cocktails. I drink out of a, cup or whatever. And I'm all about sports and he's not. And we're still best friends. So just the friend group is kind of the niche, if you will. So
I think that's what's
that's
cool
a
is like
bad answer, but
I think if we interview people that are actually good at like one thing, for example, like if it was a someone that's like all into fitness or someone that's all into making beer, whatever it is, uh, we would all at least have something to say about it. Questions, at least for that person. I think it's just a bunch of different point of views toward anything.
and I do appreciate your question because podcasts that have a niche will, I think, succeed quicker because people will be searching that niche, right?
Sure.
They'll go onto Spotify and
Yeah, you can kind of latch on to something.
type in their niche and they'll find the podcast, right? But we don't
Yeah.
have one. But what I will say is once people find this, I think they will enjoy it because it's relatable to a lot of people and it's really laid back. So I think our problem is we're not getting out there. But hopefully in the long run, that pays off, right? But we'll see. If nothing else, we have fun getting together once a week.
I think you're right though to say that it's kind of like all things you guys. So I'm not saying anything against that. I think maybe you should have certain things repeat themselves where if you have something that is a constant thing, whether it's about food or sports or about nerdy things, whatever it is, it's like, well, here's today's little thing where we're going to talk about this, and kind of pull that in every episode so that you know,
And that's, I think, what we're kind of trying to do with our topic. So
yeah,
last week, Mandela, this week, AI. But, still you want to talk about me and Nick are sports
yeah, you
fans
got to
and
pull in some sports.
that's just the number one big thing that I can think
I
I
mean,
of.
think
how
that's
about
great.
college football? I mean,
Yeah.
Michigan. How good is Michigan right now?
Yeah, so that's fun to talk about sometimes. So that's why I think we're finally starting to take all the good things and figure it out and put it all together.
How good is Michigan right now? Is there an actual story to that?
They're decent. They
Well,
haven't
they're
played
well, they're
anybody.
number two, but They should be number one.
Haven't played anybody though, right?
Yeah.
Who's number one right now?
Yeah. Georgia, I guess.
Oh, well, that's deserved, right?
Yeah.
Won the Natty. And TCU was a prank. I mean, that's annoying that they even made the Natty. Who did they beat in the semifinal? TCU. Did they beat Georgia or Michigan? I mean, they
I think
did.
so. I think so. Yeah.
I can't remember, man,
I
but
can't either. Yeah. And
I don't
then
remember who Georgia beat.
and then the following
Nick
year,
knows.
Colorado beats TCU.
Oh no, no, no! Ohio State. Remember that game? We were here when we watched it. That Ohio State game that ended with a last second field goal.
Let's ask ChatGPT.
Yeah. I mean, I could Google it. So sorry about that. I'm
ChatGPT
off my game right
could.
now. So that was 2022. 2022 college football.
CFPA 2022.
College football CFP. That ain't it. I know Georgia didn't play Alabama, so it must be 2023. No, that's 23-24, man. Can't get it. Okay, this is it. So yeah, Georgia killed
TCU, yeah,
TCU.
Michigan. Yeah,
Michigan,
yeah.
yeah, they lost to TCU 45-51. And Georgia beat Ohio State, and that was the last second
Yeah,
field
that's
goal.
right.
Yep, that's what I was thinking of. So but yeah, see, we can talk about, like, I know I can and Nick can.
Mhm.
We can talk about this all day. Like college football, if we had a whole podcast about it, I think we could make that work. But that's the
Pretty good.
beauty of our podcast is it's not all about one thing. Just about coming and hanging out with the
It's just a
boys.
weekly party.
Yeah.
Whatever you guys want to talk about,
Yep.
right?
So
Yeah. And that's what I think the thing we're trying to do right now is that we still have all that.
we have
Couple different subjects,
our normal
a
stuff.
draft, a tasting of a drink of sorts, and then we have
Fun,
an actual
easy
subject.
radio.
Yeah, and a
So
subject. we just
this
kinda
is a
just get into.
segment here where you defend your podcast.
Yeah, we're gonna have this every episode.
Yeah,
Why are we still doing this?
minimum 20 minutes of us
Dude.
telling you why you should listen.
Don't throw us away. Please don't throw us away.
There's no one to throw us away right now.
Yeah. So. Well, we have like we said before, we do have a couple actual hardcore fans listen every
Yeah.
single episode.
Thank you, boys.
It's very nice when we see
Thank
those
you.
comments on there. Very sweet.
Yeah, you keep us going. You
You
keep
want
me
you one of them dead, right?
keep me
Papa?
young.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
your mom is. Your mom's pretty good.
My wife.
Yeah. Yeah, your wife. Yeah.
My mom's dead.
Yeah.
No, it's talking to you.
Yeah,
Gee.
you're looking. It looks like you're looking his way. Yeah.
Oh.
Mom's listens to any podcast. So
No, she
Mom's
has.
dead, guys.
no, I was pretending I was.
Oh, I'm gonna stop. But yeah, your mom.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
His wife.
yeah, my wife's pretty good.
Yeah.
My buddies from school.
There's definitely many. Yeah.
Nick's mom, I think, listens pretty
yeah.
hard.
I know there's many, but there's like we said before, Nate does comments every single
Nate,
time.
yeah,
And he tells his opinion. He does it. When we say, "Hey, tell us your opinion on the episode," he does it.
Jonathan.
Jonathan, yeah, he listened to it.
So
Yeah, man, yeah. Several people he actually have to have on the podcast. They have a lot to say, and I think Papa you being on here is finally, showing its validity.
yeah.
This is probably the worst episode yet, right?
No,
Not at all. Not at all. First of all, the sound quality is bearable. I hope so. That automatically cuts out like half of them.
Yeah, especially the beginning. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Mm.
Yeah, actually, another person.
$30 mics off of Amazon.
Yeah, we have to have West again because
absolutely, yeah.
we tried something new. An episode he
Did
was
not
on
work.
was just wrecked. Like it's so bad.
We wanted to cut the episode.
It's basically like, yeah, you should skip it.
Episode 9 was it? 7, 9.
7. I think 7.
Whichever one says West, skip. Do not listen.
Yeah, it's so sad because that one was actually pretty funny.
West brought us some
people that actually listened to it and could deal with the volume and the voices. Oh, so bad.
Yeah.
People dealt with it, said it was hilarious. So
we need him back on.
We need to have Wes back on. Yeah, we need to have plenty of other people back on. But
yeah, and now that we have a guest mic, we need to have Ryan and Harley back on.
Oh man,
especially Ryan,
the original guest.
Yeah, the first guest.
Rye guy.
Shout out.
Oh man, yeah, he was the first one, Dan. As you know, you probably listened to that one, right?
Sure.
No. No. All right, Matt.
Um,
What's your favorite bourbon?
Oh
For those who
man.
don't know, absolute connoisseur just has,
I don't know about bourbon. I wouldn't say connoisseur, but
he does enjoy
I just
bourbon. Yeah,
Oh, you're a Scotch.
I
he's
definitely
a
enjoy it
Scotch
here or
dude.
there. I mean, yeah.
If you could do your dream, this is what he drinks in bourbon. A dream old fashioned, and you could choose
There
whatever
you
bourbon
go.
you want.
Great
And
question.
actually, I don't know about saying that because that's like too dream. I'm saying like, what's your favorite one? Yeah, what's your favorite bourbon to use in old fashioned?
Well, the the best bourbon that I've ever had that I've tasted was Stag,
George
George T
T
Stag or
Stag.
something
Yeah.
Oh,
like that.
really?
And I didn't buy it. Someone else did. Really, really pricey bottle of bourbon
Mm.
that a good friend shared with me, Ethan's dad.
Oh,
Shout out
But
to Papa
yeah, man, just
Adcock.
yeah, that was my the best
How
bourbon I've ever
how many
had.
years is that aged? The one you're talking about? Is it barrel
I
proof? Do you
actually
know
don't
anything about it?
know. No, I don't know because I haven't looked at the bottle that much. I only saw it one time and had one taste of
Okay,
it,
but you're telling me that's like
or a couple tastes
that's
of
a
it, I
bourbon
guess.
you sipped. You sipped neat.
Yeah,
You sipped this bourbon neat and you loved it.
yeah, just
Okay, yeah.
great.
I mean, for Papa, that's really rare. He does not sip bourbon right
And then also
neat.
he had uh, a Calumet, which I like the normal Calumet, which is a 10 year. But I think he had a 14-year Calumet,
Cool.
and or maybe 16. Um, that was incredible as well. So I mean, as far as that goes, those are the two best. I mean, I he also had like Pappy, which but I think is that I think that's overrated.
Happy's overrated. Yeah,
It definitely
Wasn't
is. Yeah.
as good as those for
I
sure.
actually tried it once.
Yeah.
I never
Overrated.
tried, but I saw this guy who's super into cocktails. I watch him on YouTube all the time, and he did this bourbon tasting. He didn't know any of the bourbons. They're all lined up, and he's just tasting and rating them by his favorites. And literally, Pappy was near the bottom,
It's
and,
really
and he kept saying if he knew one of them was Pappy, it was like if the ones I have lower over here is Pappy, I'm gonna flip out.
it's
Like,
really
why is it?
annoying because they've just made a name,
It is 100%. They go,
right?
here's a name, and this is a very limited amount you can buy.
And
And then
now
someone will go,
all of a sudden
I
it's
was able to buy that, so it
yeah.
makes it very nice.
So
Yeah.
Well, just to qualify my tastes, I've also done a blind taste test on bourbon, and repeatedly I chose Old Granddad
old
as
granddad,
the
yeah.
best bourbon that I tasted. I mean, they didn't have anything
Yeah,
too
to
we
be
didn't have
honest,
anything
the
too special
competitors
But
went,
there.
old granddad's pretty like low, like not that
It's pretty
expensive,
cheap.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
pretty much bottom shelf
But it is
type stuff, but
actually,
it's a really good
it
value
actually
yeah.
is,
for
yeah.
And
that
we've
sort of
made
stuff.
drinks with it on here, maybe I
Oh
think.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, no. Old Granddad is a 100%. Yeah, it's cheap,
Great
but
low budget bourbon
it
for you.
is, yeah,
Yeah,
it's full of flavor. And actually, if you watch blind taste testings of other people that like their bourbon, uh, Old Granddad is always, it's actually pretty high.
yeah.
Like, it's actually really good for its price.
How about you?
Yes, maybe I am pretty good at tasting.
You
Oh,
probably are, yeah.
thanks.
Um, this best bourbon I've
Yeah,
had.
your favorite.
Well, I hate the thing about bourbon I don't like is these like that green oak wood flavor in them,
Mhm.
which usually you get with a kind of a younger aged bourbon. It's just I just don't like that flavor that much because all you get is that you get sour, young, green wood flavor.
Like glue,
Yeah, not even like I love
like
funky
oak,
rum that has like blue flavor, but it's like this weird like it's when I was a
oak
kid.
sap.
Yeah, because when I was a kid, like running through the woods, like breaking off little limbs of trees, and you smell like green wood, like fresh green wood.
Live
It
wood.
live wood.
Yeah.
That's what it tastes like, and it's I don't know. It's a flavor I don't like that much. And then you only get that plus a little bit of caramel or brown sugar, wherever it is, with these younger ones. But the ones that are more aged, I can't even think of it. Actually, there was one. I see Joel brought it one time,
Someone else that needs to be on the
another
podcast who
person I
stood
bring
us
on the
up one
podcast.
time.
It was actually on a. I saw it before. It was actually on a Joe Rogan podcast that someone had brought it as a gift to him, and Joel had found it, and it was really good. I actually was surprised.
Joel brought bourbon.
Yeah, Joe brought. I think it was actually kind of it had a very interesting grain build to it. It might have been kind of a rye-ish bourbon. I don't know, but it was very nice. It was very good. That's actually one of the good ones I've had. I actually recently went to someone's house and they let me try this a tiny little sip of I thought it was 25-year-old bourbon. And I was expecting those like cobweb, old wood kind of smells you get with the older whiskey. The thing smelled like bright, fresh fruit. It was so interesting.
Hmm.
It almost had no wood flavor. The wood flavor was very light and it was this bright fruit flavor.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm not the biggest bourbon. I'm even less bourbon than he is. I can't even tell you a name of an actual bottle. I forget the bottle I'm even mentioning. But I usually just have an old fashioned.
What do you think, Ethan? Have you tasted your dad's Elmer T. Lee
I've
Oh,
or?
tasted some stuff. Elmer T. Lee, I've got a little bit left from a bottle that was gifted to me by someone, and man, it's good. It's
yeah.
real good. But my favorite bourbon is Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not, I don't really know how the scale works of high dollar to low dollar. It's not a low dollar, but it's not that killer,
No.
And I don't pay, I'm not one to buy expensive bottles of anything, but I will pay for that one. I mean, it runs about 120, 140 somewhere in there, and I'll
Mhm.
pay it anytime I can find it. It's delicious. It just, it hits.
That's actually one that yeah, I'm not a huge bourbon guy, but when tasting that,
Yeah.
it's very
And
nice,
and
very
when I
interesting.
discovered it, it was at someone's house and it was like a whole weekend of we're making a ton of like meat
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
drinking a ton like bourbon, a ton of different types of bourbon. And so I got to compare it to like Eagle Rare,
Mm.
some different types of Stag, stuff like that. And really nice stuff. I mean, there was bottles there that were way more expensive than this one. And this one was
You still went back to
absolutely
that.
my favorite,
Wow.
hands down.
And which one was that?
Elijah Craig Toasted
Okay,
Barrel.
Yeah.
Toasted Barrel.
Yeah, Toasted Barrel. So I
Well, for
like that a
me,
lot. And then my go-to is just Woodford Reserve. I
So
yeah,
can drink that
that's really,
straight.
really
is
good
I can
quality.
mix it in drinks and not
is
feel
that so that's
bad.
your favorite like old fashioned
Sure.
bourbon?
Yeah, yeah. I only drink Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel on the
Neat.
rocks.
On the rocks.
I don't do neat. I can't do that.
Oh.
My heartburn gets too bad. But on the rocks all day, I'll do Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel. But if I'm making a drink or if I'm not, if I'm feeling a little cheap that day, if I've got a little bit on the credit card I need to pay off, I'll drink a little just Woodford Reserve.
Mm.
And you can mix it, you can drink it straight and not break the bank. I just love that. So
For me, when I think about bourbon compared to Scotch, like the best bourbon I've ever tasted is like a 7.5 to me or something. If we're gonna rate 1 to 10, right?
Right.
mhm.
And then the worst bourbon is like a 2 or something, right?
Like terrible.
Yeah. But then if you go Scotch, maybe the worst Scotch I've ever had is like a 3 or 4 or something. But the best Scotch is a 9.9.
So I'm
So
exactly the
to
opposite.
me, the range is the best bourbon that you could possibly give me is not going to be as good as the best
Man.
Scotch. So I think the range is better. Like a Lagavulin 16
Oh.
compared to just a
Oh
really
man.
cheap blended
Oh,
Scotch is just night
night
and
and
day.
day.
Exactly.
Oh
Oh man,
man,
Daddy
no,
and
no,
son,
no.
daddy and son.
that's so funny.
We went on this Scotch drain together actually, exact same time. We were both not ever drinking Scotch really. I mean, of course, before I was into it, before I could
No, I
drink,
used to
he was
drink Scotch all the time,
yeah
but I
he was
used to
drinking
drink
Scotch, yeah.
Highland,
Highlight or like
not
he was drinking J&B. If you I think
Glenfiddich,
Glenfiddich,
Glenlivet.
you were kind of like you tried Magnus one time by Highland Park. Uh,
Yeah, a very little peated
yeah, yeah,
Scotch.
he's not getting to that. But yeah, he had you dabbled into Highland and everything. You drink it
Oh, I,
regularly,
yeah,
that
just
kind of stuff.
dabbled in the peated Scotch. Yeah.
Yeah, I think okay, you dabbled in trying new flavors of Highland. You just kind of stuck to the stuff you like J&B and
Only Highland is
Glenfiddich.
what I
Yeah,
drink. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
and but yeah, so the same time I was learning Highland Scotch with him. We got into that. We started trying Scotches at the same time, different
No,
kinds,
no, we
space side, low side, Highland, and
no,
then
no, no. We started into the Isla journey is what we did together.
no, we did. We started from the beginning. We did all of it.
Okay.
The Isla was later because we were trying all this like interesting, just like normal, nice stuff that we're trying, and we got to Isla later. That was like one of the last things we kind of got into. And at first we were like, what is this? This is kind of tastes kind of odd, but eventually we're like, wow, that's actually amazing. The first one we ever tried was actually Ardbeg. That's when you order it. Was Ardbeg. We tasted it. Which, if you don't know what Isla Scotch is, it's they smoke peat over the grain before they turn into whiskey, and it has the most like intense in your face. Like so, it ranges from different kinds, but kind of a smoked meat.
Medicinal,
Yeah, almost like
earthy.
earthy umami kind of smoked meat, or just ash or smoked wood, campfire,
Charcoal could be, yeah,
charcoal. Yeah, you got
yeah.
all these kind of flavors off of it, but very smoky. But oh man, I mean, at first you're like, what is this? You try it a few more times, and it's to me the best you've ever tried.
She is very beautiful to me,
One that you should try, Ethan, that we actually is
buddy.
our favorite.
So I've been wanting to say, like, I'm just the complete opposite of you guys.
Well, you haven't tried
The
this one.
best scotch I've ever had has been like a 5. I mean, I just
Yeah, it's possible.
don't
Yeah.
like it. I just can't. It's
Have
so
you ever had
like,
Lagavulin 16 though?
no,
See, that's the one
Yeah.
that's it's not like Lagavulin and Ardbeg punch you way more in the face with smoke. This is a
dude.
very delicate smoke.
Well,
And
but
it's almost creamy on the
yeah,
tongue.
but he
There's so
needs
much
an
interesting.
introduction to it. He needs like
It's true.
Every scotch I've ever
Glenfiddich,
had has just been like smoke, just
Or
boom.
that's because of me. I've only given you. You
like
should do it. Okay,
Lefroy
first thing
or
about
Ardbeg.
Jonathan.
I've tried Lefroy. I
Actually,
know because
Jonathan
that's
for
one
a
of your
season. We're
favorites.
throwing him out his name, Jonathan.
Oh
He
no.
hated Scotch. Scotch was disgusting to him. But he went to Ireland, different places, and he wants to like try more into it. Start getting more into it, and yeah, he started with Highland, Space Island, those guys kind of get into it, and he's even gotten toward Isla's. So yeah, same thing as you. Hated it, disgusting to him. But you start in one spot and you taste and you learn about it. And he literally just the other day I was hanging out with him and I gave him some Lefroy and he loved it.
Really? Jonathan
Mm.
likes
Lefroy,
Lefroy. Wow.
yeah,
Do you drink
love
that on
Lefroy.
ice?
No,
Oh
never ice.
See,
no,
that's my
See,
problem.
and that's the thing with bourbon too, though. You have to understand that when you drink bourbon neat compared to over
It
ice,
waters it down a bit.
the but also the temperature blocks certain oils
Mhm.
from your taste buds. So what happens is if you drink something over ice and you think you like it, and you drink it neat, it's completely different because all the oils you'll
Dude,
taste different flavors,
Yep.
and if it's cold with the ice, it blocks those flavors
Especially if it's
your
that
taste
non-chill
buds.
filter.
that hard dark liquor though, it just burns me up in here. It gives me that heartburn.
Well, you can add
That
some water to it, and
yeah, that's a good idea.
actually water will kind of like
Bring out the flavors, right?
broaden the
Exactly,
spectrum of it.
because
You'll
it
be able
doesn't
to taste
change
the
the
different
temperature,
Man,
and
but
it's
when I
not
flavors
too
better.
much water. A
when I drink
tiny little
that
bit.
warm whiskey, it just brings out that devil in me. I mean, that's just uh,
Boy, he on it,
it's
ain't he?
burning. Yeah,
Have
I mean,
you
it's
have you
so
had
bad.
warm whiskey tonight?
No, no, I haven't had it in a long time. I don't do that.
No,
So
literally, yeah. If a little Scotch hack, if you let it sit out in the glass, you pour it, and it sits out a minute for every year in the cask. So if it's a ten
A
year
minute in the
whiskey,
glass for
sends
every
out
year in the
10
cask.
yeah.
minutes.
Exactly.
So if it's a 10 year whiskey, you let it out for 10 minutes, and those ethanols, the stuff that gives you heartburn and is spicy on your tongue, dissipate,
Oh, okay.
and you get a way better flavor. And not only that, first you taste it that way, enjoy those kind of flavors, and then you add, I'm talking a little spoonful of water. I'm talking like 6 drips of
Yeah,
water.
just a little drip in the
That little bit of
fridge.
water literally opens up all these flavors you did not taste before. It's very interesting. Like we should have that journey together. It is a cool experience to
I'll give
do.
it a fair try.
We should do it. We'll start with some Highlands and stuff like that. That's delicious. I mean, it's awesome, and you'll. It's a good step from bourbon to that.
So drinking scotch with ice is like a big no-no.
Yeah, that
Like
just ruins
Just like
it
this
world.
stuff
changes
is
the flavor too
non-chill
much.
filtered, which
Yeah.
means it still has all the oils in it, and
Well,
yeah, and that
So
gives you
compared to drinking a bourbon on ice, very different. Like
no,
that's
no,
acceptable.
no. Bourbon's doing the
yeah,
exact
it's
same
the same
thing.
thing.
Oh,
Yeah. So
so I might prefer it on ice.
no, yeah, when you drink bourbon on ice, it's going to cut out some of the oils, so you won't taste some of the oils in it.
Okay.
And so you can take almost any whiskey that's a little bit non-palatable to you, put it over ice, and it'll taste
Then
better.
you can drink it
Yeah.
easier.
And it's not because it's cold; it's because it hides some of the flavors by masking that. And so what chill filtered is they bring it down in temperature and then they filter it. They push it through a filter then. And because those oils change at that temperature, they get trapped in the filter.
Mm.
So it makes the whiskey more clear, but also it removes a lot of flavor from it. So if you get non-chill filtered whiskey, it has all the oils originally that came with it. And it's the same thing for bourbon or scotch, really.
Interesting. I'll give it a fair try.
See, with me, I like bourbon on ice more because I don't really like those oils and stuff like you get from the wood and everything. It's just kind of not a flavor I like that much. Whereas scotch, I enjoy that way more.
Hmm.
So I don't want to have it on ice. Actually, yeah, I've actually, because when I knew one of my friends had, I think it was Lafroig or Ardbeg, and he just put it all over on top of ice. And it literally tasted so, you tasted like basically nothing. I was mind blown the flavor that was lost. It tasted like I was sipping on, I don't even know, just some typical
Just
whiskey.
whiskey, yeah.
It just tasted like whiskey. And it was, and
Generic.
this was Lafroig or Ardbeg.
Who was that
So
loser?
it was a good old Jerry Bear.
Ah,
I
classic.
was like, don't do that. But actually, he did learn.
Stop! Stop!
He did start to appreciate drinking it neat. But the first time, for all over ice, and I was like, oh man. And he tasted. I was like, hey, taste it neat and tell me if it tastes the difference. And it was like, I've actually never seen
Night and
that.
day.
Night and day. It lost all of its flavor. Like it tasted like almost nothing.
That's interesting.
Very
I'm
interesting.
excited now. I'll get. I will try it. Yeah.
We'll have to do that little journey.
And actually, if you put credit due where it is, it's Ralphie,
Yes.
Ralfie, I think, right?
Yes.
Ralphie. If you looked it up on YouTube,
Oh, let me get his
he
actual
is a
name.
guy from I think
Let's
it's
get
from
it.
Isle of Man, but I think
Yep.
he's from Scotland originally. Anyway, he takes you through the all the different things that you should do with scotch and how to taste it. But I mean, he'll taste things like Jack Daniels, just regular old Jack Daniels,
Yep.
and he tells you how to taste the other different flavors in there.
His YouTube, if you want to find him, is Ralphie.com, but it's spelled, it's RALFYDOTCOM. So Ralphie.com. Yeah. Isle of Man, this dude is awesome. He stays in his little, what's it called?
Bothy, right?
Man,
Yeah, the Irish Bothy.
he just looks like a normal dude you'd see in like a grocery store.
Very cool guy, yeah. Super into trying
He's the
scotches.
sensei, Scotch
He
sensei.
is the sensei. He's what taught us how to enjoy it. Into it. That's what got us into it.
Oh, there
How
he
to
is with
taste
some
it.
Dickel right
Yeah,
there.
he
Huh?
taught us how to do the a minute for every year in the cask. Yeah, it was him that taught
A
that.
year in the glass for a
Uh,
minute in the cask.
yeah,
That's actually his saying. Yeah,
his saying,
correct
and
him
then
on that.
burn it 100%, and the little bit of water in it, all of it. That's from him. So
Ralphie. Shout
awesome
out
guy to watch.
Ralphie.
Shout out Ralphie.
Sponsor us.
Take us to your Balfi, please.
Send us a
Shout us
bottle.
out. Shout us
Send us
out.
a bottle.
Something bonded.
Yeah,
Something like
friends.
really old,
Solid.
really expensive.
That's all. Not asking for much, seriously.
Yeah, just a fraction.
And come and visit.
You
Be on the
touch the
podcast.
outer
You guys
Yeah.
fringe of your
Yeah.
Hey,
scotch.
yeah, Ralphie, we'll get you down to Tennessee and get you on a podcast. How about that?
How would you feel about an American podcast? Come on in.
Where's he
Enjoy.
from?
The Isle of Man,
Isle of
so like
Man.
UK.
Yeah, I can't afford that
UK
flight.
somewhere.
Yeah.
So
But like right, he's on the Irish Sea.
yeah, I can't afford that flight, but if you come, I'll buy you a nice bottle of
I'll
bourbon.
pay 25% of your flight. Just come on over.
25% of your flight. I'll get you a nice bottle of local bourbon, and we'll get you on a podcast and show you a good time in Tennessee. So how about that?
I think he's saying yes right now.
Oh, thanks, Ralphie.
Yeah, that's what Ralph is saying right now.
Practice our interview skills. Oh,
Yeah. So Ralphie, what do you think about this? That's pretty good.
yeah. So, well, anything else, lads?
Brothers,
That's an hour and a half. I think we're good.
I think we spoke our hearts out.
Okay. Well, just to recap the draft, Caleb with the first pick for favorite meats to smoke: brisket, sausage, and brine chicken. Me with the second pick: Boston butt, burn ends, and chicken thighs. And Papa with the last pick: spare ribs, tri-tip, and he said his seafood deal with scallops, shrimp, fish, all that business. So we'll get that on draft vote for your favorite. Any other things to wrap up?
Well, thank you, Papa Pals.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, you guys.
Yeah, thanks for
appreciate it.
coming
No
on,
problem,
man.
Papa.
Anytime, baby.
We'll have to have you on again very soon.
For
Thanks
sure.
for that delicious drink at the beginning there.
Oh.
What was it called again?
Whiskey Harvest.
I wanted to
Something
call
like
it the
that.
GPT.
Yeah, and that's a pretty good name because GPT did make it up.
Yeah.
So Very
Excellent
nice.
drink. 9.2.
All
9.2.
right.
Wow. Record score there from Papa.
9.0.
9.0 right here.
Yeah, so
That's a
it's
pretty
a
high
solid
score.
one. So we're gonna bring you season 2 at some point in the near future.
Yep.
Better and improved. Hopefully a better product. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, and how we can get better. Buy the merch.
Yep.
Anything else?
I love you. Papa, do you love him?
You guys have a good night.
All right. He loves you.
All right. See you guys next time.
Wow. Just wow. The man, the myth, the legend, the papa. This was such an exquisite episode. What an absolute delight. I just know all the fans are shaking right now, quivering like a hungry bear right out of hibernation, looking upon a beehive dripping honey in an orchard. What an experience. Papa Playhouse himself sat down and talked with us. We discussed smoked meats, AI, and its effects on humanity, scotch and beer. Papa showed us many teachings we learned and became one with the Playhouse. The attunement of oneself and the Playhouse is a joy when the way shows you the path. We hope you also enjoyed your attunement with the Playhouse. Please let the boys know if you're interested in joining in on the pod as a guest. We would love to have you. It comes with a free cocktail and the best company you have ever and will ever have. We thank you for listening. I love you. The boys love you, and Papa loves you. Good night, my loves.